Welcome to the doctor's office. You have Mr. Floofs over here, graduated up to the doctor, and you got
Dr. Teddy, the original doctor.
Do you have a coat?
I have three. Anyways, our patient today is gonna be a tough one. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's probably one of those embarrassing scars in movie history, anime history, and history period of disappointment. That is Dragon Ball Z. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm gonna try my best here to fix this, but it's kind of like fixing gravity. Gravity's gonna do what it's gonna do.
It's like, planes can fly, but gravity's still there, right?
We don't know what we're doing here. Let's
we trying our best, is what we're doing.
Let's try it anyways. So, the first thing you gotta do if you're gonna fix Dragon Ball Z is you gotta pick a storyline. Dragon Ball Z is an anime of mass proportions. It's been along since the 90s. And
hundreds of episodes.
And each one has its own arc, its own premise, its own like lore. So you really got to decide whether you go Dragon Ball Kai, Dragon Ball Z,
Dragon Ball
GT,
Z Kai.
GT, which I would never do,
Jet Force,
or even the Super, where it's just continuation right now. And once you pick your franchise, your storyline, it's really going to help you which characters are essential, which characters are not, what's the focus of it, and it's really going to be like, is it a martial arts movie, is it an alien movie, is it like Super Saiyans or the Dragon Balls are in play. It's really going to help you help cut down some of the issues it has.
Yeah, like for example, just like in the beginning when the Dragon Ball Z, or Dragon Ball's first started when granted Goku was still a child, which I feel like they can fix and make him like more like a teenager adult. But like, he didn't have any of those like crazy powers. He couldn't do like Kamehameha wave. Like, he didn't do anything. Like, that was just like building up. Just like, he's just barely starting to figure out that like that as a Saiyan, which he doesn't know how he is yet. The more he trains, the more powerful he gets. He's just like infinitely so. And you can see it when he's practicing with Krillin, because Krillin obviously has human limits because he's a human. But just like that.
So the first thing you really got to do with Dragon Ball Z, realize it's a fight anime and should be treated as a fight anime. What they did with Dragon Ball Evolution is they tried to modernize a story that didn't really need to be modernized. Where like the main character was definitely not Goku. Goku's like a lovable, dumb character who just loves fighting, training. That's his life. Maybe Gohan could have fit in this high school, unsure what to do, because Chi-Chi really did like hammer in that school thing for him. But like, it was so far away from what fans were expecting that it just was jarring right from the beginning. And let's see, yeah, you just isolate the original fans, and that's a horrible thing to do since you're just trying to get fans in the first place. So you take away your guaranteed fans right from the get-go. Fight animes don't really need too much development. You just came here for the fighting, and that should be the main point. You can have like plots on the side, but you shouldn't over convolute it and like basically oversaturate it.
Yeah, you can see it as like kind of like a more towards like an action movie where you can focus more on the action, and yeah, you can throw in like a couple like story elements in there too, like I said with the training montage. Like you can have like a training to where like he gets stronger and he like learns a move so he can use it in like the fighting part. But like especially in the beginning of Dragon Ball Z, like there wasn't too much of a story outside of him training until I believe it was Piccolo came into the story.
There was training, but it's just like they didn't even mention the Red Ribbon Army. No. That was like such a main part of that. All right, another main thing: you can't fight the canon on this one, just because it's like it becomes like almost conceited to a point that they would introduce airbending into this franchise when fans know where airbending come from. So it's kind of like, let's introduce two different animes. They won't notice. Guess what? We noticed. Stop it. And they really they took away the gorilla mode from what it was supposed to be. Then they tried to make it into like a state of being where the gorilla mode was just an affliction that Saiyans had. You see the moon, you have the tail, turn into gorilla. This one he was like, I must summon the gorilla from inside. It's like, no dude, you're Saiyan. This is not how it works.
Yeah, in fact, like they actively try to avoid it unless if put in a situation where like they're up against their back and they have no other option, because they can't really control themselves in that form.
The only one who could control was like Vegeta, but he had to create a moon in order to do it. So it also negates the fact that you can't summon the gorilla from inside. Oh man. Yeah, it just complicates everything, and then like when you go to future installments where like the gorilla just stops being a thing completely, and then you just go to Super Saiyan, like you're like, hey guys, whatever that giant gorilla you used to have.
And also like too, well, first of all, it's just elephant out there was no such thing as airbending in Dragon Ball. Like it was all energy. It was all energy from within, which is what made the training so important, especially as a Saiyan, where like the more training that they can take on, like the stronger they can get, the more energy they can call from within. And that's super important because that's what leads into Super Saiyan, because that coupled along with like very like emotional like stress is what brought upon like the first changing into a Super Saiyan.
Another thing about this franchise that needs to be fixed is you got to respect the characters. The characters like have the reason you come into this this movie just to watch. Goku, as we touched on, should just be a dumb little bit of a character, loves fighting. That's it. He doesn't need anything else. His innocence and his like obliviousness is part of the humor that brings into the franchise. Mm-hmm. Another thing, you got to put Krillin in there. I don't know the audacity these people had not put the best friend of Goku in there that's been there from day one.
Since day one.
And like no spoilers. I'm just saying. At this point, you should know Krillin is the reason why he goes Super Saiyan, because that bond between him and his friend, when losing it, transitioned him into Super Saiyan.
The first time.
So, how dare you not have Krillin in there? Especially since he's the strongest human being in the universe.
Legitimately, like...
Come at me if you think it's wrong.
Legitimate every other character in that franchise. Either Super Saiyan, Piccolo is like alien, and then Kami.
I even like Master Roshi now, because it was just like he's supposed to be an old perverted guy that knows how to have everything and he can bust out the moves when he can, but he's like, I don't even know what they were trying to do.
I feel like they were just trying to have some like older like Asian teacher, just like
generic like Mr. Miyagi in there, which is like they wasted so much potential they could have in that one. Let's see. Alright, so this is how we're gonna fix it. You can agree with me, not disagree with me, but this is how we gotta do. You gotta start with Dragon Ball Z Kai. And the reason for that, it gets to a lot more lovable characters a lot quicker. You get Vegeta in there, like we could get him within maybe a movie, maybe two. And then you can't really translate Goku's childhood into today's standards. It's just like with the fact that there's dinosaurs around, roaming around, it's going to be very confusing when you do to the future one, but they don't even show up anymore. Yeah. And then some of the humor, I would say like old Japanese humor, would not go with today's censors.
Very crude. Like.
And it's just like, if you have any time, you should look that up. It's hilarious.
If you're like over at least like 16.
Yeah, it's just, it would not go through today's censors well. And then also with this, you can probably start off with one tournament, the Grand Martial Arts Tournament, just to set up how good their fighters are. And towards the end, as you get to like Tien, Chaozu, Yamcha, and when it gets to the main characters who can use their inner power of chi or ki, then you start doing like, they start flying, they start using their inner blast. And then after you set that up with like Piccolo and stuff, that's when you bring in the heavy hitters like Vegeta. And then after Vegeta, you bring in Frieza, Cell, Boo. Like, these are set up to the point where movies can just build the bad guy, face the bad guy, build the bad guy, face the bad guy. You just gotta set up a base.
Yeah, you gotta set up the world building first with the first one.
And with the first one, you gotta treat it with respect and sincerity of like a Bruce Lee or Jackie Chan movie where the martial arts takes a main focus, and when it's on screen, it's done by professionals, it's choreographed, and it's like it's a main integral part, not something like even the anime did really bad on where they just blurred out like where they are. They impact zones here, impact zones, you don't even see anything, and that way you can cut down and fix both. And
also that way you can use to like introduce ki as well, because then like them getting stronger in training with the martial arts, they find out Goku finds out that he has like more power within him, and when he tries like the Kamehameha wave, like he can maybe not entirely do it successfully in the first movie, depending on how you want to go about it, but he could set it up for the next one when he has to use it against like Vegeta.
Another big part you have to fix this movie with is not take it too seriously, because humor is a big part of Dragon Ball Z. Whenever they're not fighting, you're laughing, and that's a big part. When you're like Goku eating, or when he's like interacting with Chi-Chi, when she's like realistic, and he's just like, I had to go train. Yeah. Like, I'm abandoning my family for the next 10 years. See you later.
Goku is a lovable idiot. and you kind of want to keep him that way, especially with like some of the more serious stuff that happens in the anime, like when like people start dying a little bit left and right. Like he is what like after all the fighting's done, it's just like, hey, I'm still having fun watching this show because of stuff like it.
And that's not even mentioning his banter and his relationship with Vegeta.
Ah, that's hilarious.
Who's like the most
Love it
hardcore,
so much.
serious characters in the franchise. You just love that movie.
Especially
I love that. Sorry, an interaction between them.
Especially how angry Vegeta gets knowing that Goku's like always just like a few steps ahead of him, just like, God damn it, man! Like,
I'm the prince of all Saiyans, all three of us. It's just really great, and I believe that is our steps on how to fix Dragon Ball Z. If you have any suggestions, what we missed, what you like, didn't like, please leave a comment, like, subscribe. Have a great day. Have an apple. Keeps me away.